friends, welcome back or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacy and I am the Chapter Conundrum, and in today's video I'm going to be talking all about my favorite character because I've been tagged to do the favorite character book tag. So this is a tag that was originally created by BG's Books, and I was tagged to do this by my husband Jake, the bookish drummer. So I will have both of their videos linked down in the description for you guys to go check out. But without much more preamble, let's go ahead and get into it. And the first question is, who is your favorite character? So I have several favorites. I think it's difficult for me to narrow down to one. But for the sake of this video, I am going to choose Claire from Outlander. And question two is, what book or series is this character from? Which I've already answered. So yeah, she is our main protagonist in Outlander. And in here we follow her as she kind of stumbles upon a Celtic ritual being performed. And as she goes to investigate like the site of this ritual, after it's over, she ends up getting pulled back in time. So she was in 1943 and then ends up finding herself in the mid 1700s. Question three is, what do you like about your character? And I think the main thing for me is that even though she's kind of in this fish out of water scenario, she really maintains her individualism and who she is at her core throughout everything that she struggles with and faces. I think that's the thing that really just kind of stands out to me the most, is just even though people aren't necessarily able to relate to her, or she feels like she can't really fully confide in anybody because of her situation, she still finds a way to be true to herself and really kind of like follow what she thinks is right. And I think just the balancing act of watching her have to do that is just really interesting and kind of heartwarming. Question four is, what are your character's greatest strengths? And I think one of the things that really stands out to me about Claire is just how courageous she is. She is thrust into kind of some impossible situations, but she faces them down. She doesn't hide from them, and she tries to figure out how to make them better and how to kind of like put herself in a better situation and kind of like gain ground with what she's trying to accomplish. She doesn't give up. She's persistent. So yeah, I think just that she's very persistent and very courageous, and she just has a strong idea of like what she thinks is right and wrong and what she wants to do. And yeah, just seeing kind of all those traits come out in her is really enjoyable. Question five is, what are your character's greatest weaknesses? And I think kind of on the other hand of that, sometimes she's not always the most like self-aware in terms of how other people view her, and it leads to kind of some like almost hot water situations that she's put in because she's less concerned with kind of like fitting in with everybody else, and she's more concerned with kind of maintaining her own individualism and her ideals. And kind of a little bit with that, she can be a little bit selfish at times where she doesn't necessarily consider other people's points of view as often, or really take the time to hear other people out. Sometimes she's very focused on kind of like what she thinks. And also, the other big one is that she can be a little bit rash and kind of rush into things at times. So she's very reactive, which is partly why I love reading about her so much. But part of that reactiveness is like her reacting to things very quickly and kind of in the moment. And sometimes that works out really well, and other times that doesn't work out so well. So yeah, those are the kind of things that I think about when I think about her weaknesses. Question six is this author's most famous character? And I would say she's one of them, but I would almost argue that Jamie is a little bit more famous. So it really depends. She is really like the main character. Everything is told through her perspective, but also like Jamie is more of the fan favorite. So I don't really know what to say in terms of like if she's really the most famous or if Jamie is, but she's definitely up there and she's one of them. Question seven is, what is your character's biggest challenge? And like I touched on earlier, I think it's really just her trying to find the balance between maintaining her own ideals and individualism and kind of like fitting into this different time period in the society that she's thrust into. But kind of coming off the back of that, it's really also like her leaving a lot behind. It's kind of an interesting thing to read about in terms of relating to an immigration experience, because even though obviously that's different, like you have the option to visit home and whatever, it's interesting to see kind of how she deals with leaving everything behind, how she's coping with being thrust into a new scenario, new situation, new culture, the kinds of things that she ends up adapting from that culture, and just kind of her feeling like she doesn't really fit in anywhere because she's a little bit of both is interesting. Question nine is, how does your character change by the end of their story? And this one I can't honestly answer because at this point I'm up to book 6 in the series. Like I've read book 6, but I don't remember it, so I need to reread it. But I have not yet read 7, 8, or 9. and 10 isn't out yet. So I don't really have a good idea about how she is by the end of the story. I guess this would work more towards like if this was a standalone. She does definitely grow throughout the series though, and I think one of the biggest changes between like book 1 Claire and like book 6 Claire where I'm at is just her confidence level. It's interesting to see her kind of like build her own life in this scenario and really kind of just come into her own in terms of the things that she's enjoying and the things that she's accomplishing. It's nice to see her kind of grow in her main relationship as well, and just kind of like how she matures and becomes a little bit more considerate as well. Question 10 is, would you love to see your character show up outside of their book or series, and why? And I think for me, honestly, the answer is no, because I think the situation and the plot that she's put in is really what brings out a lot of the elements of her character that I enjoy so much. And also just that this series is really a romance. And so if she were to be pulled out of the book or the story, then a big part of that is missing if she doesn't have her person with her. And so no, I think I enjoy it more seeing her reactions and her situations that she's put in. And I think that's a lot of what makes this and what makes her so special and so endearing. And so, no, I would like to leave her in this book or series. I think, like, even putting her in a different book or series just wouldn't have the same appeal for me. I mean, yes, I would still like her character, but I think because I'm more of a plot reader instead of a character reader, I'm more interested in her character because of what she's experiencing through the plot. And so, yeah, I think no, I'm leaving her in Outlander for this one. Then the last question, question 11, is to tag some other people that I would love to do this challenge. And there are 3 people I'm going to tag. So I'm going to go ahead and tag Trin from Portable Magic. I'm curious to see who she says is her favorite character and how she goes about answering these questions. I definitely want to hear about this from Kelly over at Coffee Cups and Books as well. And I'd also like to go ahead and tag Fina over at Fina Reads. I definitely want to know who her favorite character is as well. I think with all 3 of them, I could tell you their favorite books, but I don't know if I could tell you their favorite characters. And so I think that I would enjoy seeing them do this tag, and hopefully they decide to do it. So that was it for today's video. Let me know down below in the comments who is your favorite character and why are they your favorite. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out, and have a great day. Bye.